Okay, I'd like to call to order the Bedford Township Planning Commission regular meeting is April 12, 2023 at 7 o'clock p.m. If we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Okay, Mr. Lemkowski, can you do the roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Andrews.
Here.
Elm. Here. Fritz.
Here.
Lemkowski is here. Mahoney.
Here.
And Steiner and Coverett are excused absences.
Okay, item 4, approval of the agenda. Anyone want to make any changes?
I move to approve the agenda.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item 5, approval of the minutes from March 8, 2023. Has everyone had a chance to read them? Any changes, additions, deletions?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for March 8th, 2023.
Second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Moving on to item 5, public comment. Does anybody out in the public like to make a comment? Seeing none, we'll move on to 7, new business. Item A, request for a final site plan approval for Montreal Estates Phase 2 on parcel number 58-02-028-052-005 located on Stearns Road, east of Douglas, west of Jackman Road. Ms. Rector?
Yes. The applicant is Infinity Electric, 6622 Summerlin Boulevard, Lambertville. Owner is Scott Bolin. Engineer is Colony & Colony, and it is a PUD with an underlying zoning of R2A. The final PUD approval for Montreal Estates, a 61-unit condominium project located off Stearns Road between Douglas Road and Jackman Road. Zone PUD R2A planned unit development with an underlying zoning of R2A single-family residential. The 20-acre parcel has a total proximity of 114.89 feet of frontage on Stearns Road, which provides one means of ingress-egress. The public hearing for the preliminary concept approval for the request was held on November 16, 2016, where the Planning Commission recommended approval, and on December 6, 2016, the preliminary concept PUD was approved for the Township Board. On February 14, 2018, the Planning Commission recommended to rezone to PUD R2A, final PUD approval, and final site plan for Phase 1. Township Board granted approval for all on April 3rd of 2018. This request is for final site plan approval for Phase 2. The project has been sold and the new developer, Summerlin Builders, has determined to move forward with the original approved Phase 3. As there is no change to the layout or number of units, the master deed states in Article 2 that the developer's discretion, any of the buildings and any of the phases of the project may be built without any particular predetermined sequential order or phasing as market conditions permit. However, by state statute, the numbering and phasing requires sequential order. Phase 1 consists of 19 units and Phase 2 consists of 24 units. Sidewalks are being proposed around the interior units. When Phase 1 was approved, it was noted the developer and Consumers Energy would work through the clerk's department on street lighting. This should be verified with the new developer on street lights, as no information has been updated through the planning department or the clerk's department. The planning department has spoken with the previous developer, and lighting is only installed on the homes within the development. And it shall be determined from the Planning Commission whether a street light on the entrance shall be installed or is installed. Utilities, municipal water and sanitary services available, the stormwater system, and the roads are private. Landscaping plan. Previously with Phase 1, the landscape plan was submitted and approved, and it shall be verified with the new developer on the time frame to comply with installing the approved landscaping. Planning Department has spoken with the previous developer and plantings have been installed, and it should be determined by the Planning Commission with the new developer if any additional landscaping will be installed. Approval letters with contingency and comments have been received from the Monroe County Drain Commission on 2/16/23, the Manikin-Smith Group on 3/15/23, and the Monroe County Drain Commission in regards to soil erosion and sedimentation control on 2/24/23. The Bedford Township Fire Department on 2/21/23, and no approval is required from the Road Commission as the roads are private and there's no additional curb cut. In summary, the final site plan approval for Phase 2 of Monterey Estates shall be contingent upon addressing all comments and conditions as stated in the Monroe County Drain Commission, the Drain Commission in regards to soil erosion and sedimentation control, the Manneken-Smith Group, the Bedford Township Fire Department review letters, subject to determination on landscaping, rendering, and streetlights, and the amended master deed and PUD agreement for Phase 2 with all requested changes must be submitted for review and approval by the Manneken-Smith Group and the township attorney. Having said all that, I did get an inquiry from one of the commission members regarding previously the developer that owned the property had requested an amendment to go from 3 phases to 5 phases. That project never proceeded forward, and since that time, the new developer has purchased and moved forward with the property, so that would no longer be valid because nothing was moved forward or desirable. So at this time, we are looking at the 3 phases. And keep in mind, the change in the phasing is, it's a loop project. So the developer is desiring to move forward with Phase 3, where Phase 2 was previously developed. That's why the master deed and all the exhibits and the PUD agreement will have to be amended to comply with those of the state statute.
Thank you, Jody. Is there anybody here to represent? You want to stand up to the microphone, state your name and address?
Scott Boland, 6622 Summerlin Boulevard. I'm the new developer of Monterey. So.
Okay, I'll take this moment to advise you we're 2 members short tonight.
Right.
You would need 4 votes from the 5 that are present here tonight for us to move positively or affirmatively forward. Okay, you're willing to go ahead?
Yep.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Mr. Boland?
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Rector.
I would like to advise as well, the applicant in the packet did update all the renderings and the requirements for the submittal as it would have been if he was the original developer. I'm trying to scroll down so you can see them. So those will be the renderings of the homes, and I believe currently you'll see, and even in Phase 1, some of those types of homes already being developed.
I want to say appreciate you were able to take over the building of the subdivision. Praying for the Monterey's, but I'm glad you were able to pick up the
Unfortunate they had a little bad luck there, but hopefully I think he's actually doing really well.
Good.
So, from what I've heard.
Ms. Rector mentioned the street lighting plan. I think when this was originally approved by the township board, there was mentioned, I guess the question I had is, have you set up the special assessment district for the street lighting for the Phase 1 with the clerk's office?
There's no street lighting. It's all lit by the individual homes with photo cells that turn on the outside lights.
So that's not required?
The project is private, and that was approved with the original, and I did confirm that with the previous developer, that's how it was. I just wanted confirmation that that was Mr. Boland's desire to move forward with just the streetlights on the home. But ordinance does require a street light at the road, and I'm not sure if there is one there or not.
At the entrance?
At the entrance.
I don't think there is.
Like on the sign for Monterey Estates?
No. There's definitely no light on the sign. I think she's talking about the intersection, right?
Yeah, the entrance where you come into the development. Normally, we require a street light. I did not find nothing previously requiring that, but that's why I want it to be discussed, because normally we do require it. And keep in mind, this project does sit back off the road.
Actually, I think there is one because it's the original entrance to the subdivision across the street, so I do believe there is one. I think there's a light in the center of the road.
Okay.
Because that's the entrance to Silo, yeah. So I'm pretty sure there is one there.
Anybody else have any questions?
I do.
Mr. Lampkowski.
I mean, we have to ask, is there any additional landscaping that you're proposing to install?
I'm probably going to do a little bit more. Yeah, the landscaping is pretty weak in there, so yeah, we're going to address that.
Okay.
Yeah. I've already took out all the trees in the entrance and put in all new. I put in a new sign, so we're going to spend some money dressing it up. Yeah, Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
How is it coming along? There's 19 units in the phase one, and you're, what, at 10 or 11 right now? 10 plus a basement?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think we have 12 in there right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I just started 2 more, so.
When would your phase three begin?
Phase 3?
Or the,
As soon as I, phase 2?
which one is the next one?
Phase 2 is the next one. Probably pretty quick. You know, I'd like to get a couple more lots sold, and then, because everybody's going to want to be in the back, so I certainly want to get a couple more lots sold before we, you know, start moving in the back, because then none of them will sell in the front until. So I'll probably wait a little bit to get it started, get a couple more lots sold, and then we'll move. So we had a couple specs in there. I think if we sell those, we'll start 2 more. And then if I can sell 1 or 2, then I think we'll move forward.
Gotcha.
So I would think by June we can start.
Awesome. Anything else, guys? Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. I move to approve the final site plan approval for Monterey Estates Phase 2 on parcel number 58-02-028-052-05, located on Stearns Road, east of Douglas, west of Jackman Road, pending addressing all comments from the regulatory agencies.
Mr. Fritz seconds. Mr. Lemkowski, you want to make a roll? Yeah, Ms. Rector, I'm sorry.
Yes, could we ask for a friendly amendment to include the comments actually listed, also to include the PUD and the master deed
Yes, I would accept that.
as notated in the summary?
Mr. Fritz?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Lamkowski is aye. Fritz.
Yes.
Helm.
Yes.
Andrews. Yep. Mahoney.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to item 7B, request for recommendation for final preliminary plat approval for Prairie Woods Plat 5 and 6 on parcel number 58-02-026-061-01 located on Stearns Road east of Lewis Avenue. Ms. Rector?
Yes, the project is Prairie Woods Plats 5 and 6, and it's an extension of Prairie Woods development. This is final preliminary plat approval. The applicant is Comanche Development, 715A Gray Estates, Lambertville. The owner is Comanche Development. Representative is Brad Greeley. Engineer was confirmed it is ESA 5353 Secor Road, Toledo. Property 5802-026-061-01, R3, single-family residential. This request is for an extension of the Prairie Woods subdivisions. Plats 1 through 4 have been developed in a consistence of 123 lots. Tentative preliminary plat was granted on 6/15/21, and an extension was granted by the Township Board for 1 year on 5/17/2022. This submittal is for final preliminary plat approval for Plat 5, which consists of 21 lots, and Plat 6, which consists of 24 lots, and as noted on the plan, will be constructed subject to market conditions. The plat has 2 existing ingress-egress locations off Stearns Road with 3 stub streets for possibility of future development. The existing stub end of Lily Lane has an existing 2-foot reserve strip, which will be extended into the development of Plat 5. Monroe County Road Commission, a letter of approval was issued on 4/6/2023 with comments and conditions. Monroe County Drain Commission, a letter of approval was issued on 7/19/21 with comments and condition. Monroe County Drain Commission in regards to site plan and drainage on 6/23/2022 with comments and conditions. Monroe County Drain Commission in regards to water main and sanitary sewer on 6/21/2022 with comments and conditions. And the Monroe County Drain Commission via an email regards to soil erosion and sedimentation control on 4/5/23, having no objection to final preliminary plat approval. Manicat Smith, the letter was approved on 3/16/2023 with comments and conditions. Eagle, formerly DEQ, Planning Commission shall confirm with the applicant approval from Eagle has been obtained. Fire Department, a letter of approval was issued on 7/15/2021 with conditions. Summary, the following should be considered in final preliminary plat approval is recommended. Any and all issues outlined in the Monroe County Road Commission, Monroe County Drain Commission, the Manikin-Smith Group, and the Bedford Township Fire Department letters be addressed and a permit be obtained from Eagle prior to final plat approval.
Thanks, Ms. Rector. Is there a representative for Comanche? State your name and address.
Brad Greeley, 1832 Apple Creek Drive.
And I'll advise you that we're 2 members short tonight, and
That's
you
okay.
should continue.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Greeley? Have you worked with Eagle yet, or talked to them, or gotten any approval from them?
We've had a site plan done with them. We'll just have to probably have that updated for time. It might be,
I think it's a time of the date of the plan.
right, it's
that's
probably
going to
dated
be.
out, so we'll just have to have that updated.
Yeah, and just for the record, we did request that, and the applicant did supply the Planning Commission with an updated plan because the original plans were from 2021 stamped in, and the engineer has updated those and brought them and submitted them for signature tonight.
Great. And when do you plan to start working on that? Plat
I
5?
think our plan is to get this permitted and ready to go, and then kind of look at market conditions, and if they're favorable, we'll start and do it in 2 separate phases.
Within the next year?
Yes.
Okay. I notice you have a plat 7 and 8 on top of that at some point in the future.
Yes. Yep.
I notice you put in little parks, or a park in the back of that. I think that's a nice touch. So many subdivisions don't have a park.
Right.
That should be a good selling point. Anyone else have any questions, comments? Anyone care to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve Comanche Development for parcel number 5802-026-061-01 on the summary that any and all outlined in the Monroe County Road Commission, Monroe County Drain Commission, the Manikin-Smith Group, and the Bedford Township Fire Department letters shall all be addressed, and the permit shall be obtained from Eagle for final plat approval.
Ms. Rector?
Yes, keep in mind this is a recommendation to the Township Board. This project will be presented to the Township Board on May 16th, the second meeting of the Township Board, but it is a recommendation.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Fritz? Second by Mr. Fritz. Mr. Lemkowski, you want to call the roll?
Helm,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Andrews. Aye. Lamkowski is an aye. Mahoney.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much, Mr. Greeley. Nice to meet you. Okay, moving on to item 7C, discussion of sign ordinance.
Is it really?
Pardon?
For the sign ordinance, I actually just want some input, if you had an opportunity to review it, to make sure that the planning department is on the same page of the desires of the commission. We are looking to try to condense the language of the ordinance and simplify it for residents, property owners, business owners, tenants, to be able to understand a little bit clearer than, 30-some pages. I would request 2 commission members to agree to set up a meeting with the planning commission and planning department, and maybe we can downsize, get a little clearer direction, and then present those other sections to keep moving forward. But the discussion at the meetings tends to, we get off on one side and go to another, and then we're adding language, and I don't think that's the desire that we're looking at. I think we're looking to simplify it and bring it into a better understanding, condensing maybe temporary signs to all temporary signs instead of bulleting them out into specific difference of political signs, temporary banner signs, maybe just having one section that says temporary. And I think maybe if we sit down with 2 commission members and myself and Katrina, and then we get some better language and then present that and then have discussion of maybe adding or changing once we get a simpler direction. And I'm just looking for some direction from the commission of what your thoughts are.
And you're thinking about an hour-long meeting, 9 o'clock in the morning?
An hour is probably sufficient enough that if we have just the 2 commission members in the planning department, I mean, we worked very well. The reason I'm suggesting is I thought we got a good handle on the CIP by doing that. So I think it's a good direction to at least have 2 members, to at least have some input, even if we desire to have 2 members one meeting and 2 members another after we have a discussion. So I'm open to suggestions, but I think it's just becoming cumbersome bringing it to the meetings and then taking the minutes back, trying to figure out exactly where we're at.
So if anybody wants to volunteer? Okay. Is there anyone else who wants to do it?
I would.
Mr. Fritz wants to?
Okay, so if you could send me individually, include both of us, all of us in the email, and just give me maybe 2 or 3 days in the next couple weeks that you're ready. We will be having a meeting on the 26th of May, so if we can meet up maybe next week and at least get some direction, I would like to at least put that on for some type of discussion as well.
If he wants to give her the information she needs, and then let me know, because I'm kind of flexible.
Yeah, okay.
So.
Good.
Is there a certain time of the day that works out best for you?
If you give me a couple days and times, we can make it work.
Okay. I just got to ask the wife. That's it.
Smart man.
And I'll just say, I'm open even if it's at 5. If you can't get here during work hours, I don't have a problem amending that so we can keep this moving forward as well.
Okay.
Great. Okay, moving on to item 8, public comment, and seeing there's nobody in the audience, we'll move on to item 9, information. Ms. Rector.
Just that we will be having a meeting. I know we will be 1 member short already for that meeting, so please let me know if there's any conflict with anyone else. Thank you.
And that's April 26th, right?
April 26th. I think
May.
I said May.
I just want to be sure. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes, April.
Okay.
Jumping a whole month.
Okay, moving on to item 10, commission staff comment. I'll start with you, Mr. Lemkowski.
I'm good. Everyone have a good rest of the week.
Mr. Andrews?
No comments from me. Thank you.
I don't have anything to comment on. Mr. Fritz?
Would we, back to the original thing, make an appointment for next week? Would that be two times in the week or 1 time?
If we meet next week, I would like to have at least an hour meeting, and we can discuss moving forward if we decide to have another one that day.
We know by Friday?
Well, I'll let you know as soon as Mr. Lamkowski checks his
Send it
schedule.
tonight.
Okay.
We'll let you know. Absolutely.
Okay, Mr. Helm?
Nothing for me.
Ms. Ingram?
I have nothing.
And
good.
Ms. Rector's good. Okay, moving on to item 11, adjournment. It is 7:25 at this moment, so we'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Second.